From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Thursday morning. Last night was a pretty windy one across the map, and for this morning we do have some residual gusts left over. Still out of the north and west around 30 miles per hour. Up in the Kittitas Valley out of the south and west spanning from about 15 to 25 miles per hour for the lower Columbia Basin and for the Blue Foothills. These will be weakening throughout the rest of the morning and mainly throughout the rest of the day. Right now temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, but remember in the winds it's going to feel colder than that. 30s and 40s up in the Blues, 20s and 30s up in the Cascades, so it could be a little bit frosty up that way for this morning. Here's your day planner forecast for today for lower elevations. Going to be up into the 60s around lunchtime, 70s at the peak of daytime heating, so substantially cooler as opposed to yesterday. Will actually be pretty seasonal for the 8th of May, but we'll trend warmer as we head into Friday and Saturday, and then a storm system is going to bring us shower and thunderstorm chances, and we're going to be much cooler for Sunday through Tuesday. Looks like we'll turn very windy again in the Kittitas Valley from Monday through Wednesday, so I'll tell you about all this coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a fire in Kennewick was making it harder for drivers to see on the highway, leaving crews scrambling to put it out. We have video from the scene.
Plus, a man is recovering this morning after he was stabbed at a Walla Walla hospital. What investigators say was the motive behind the attack.
Also, changes at local parks could affect your weekend plans. Our very own Dan Hansen has the details you'll want to know this morning. That and more is coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jade Elliott. It is Thursday, May 8th. Thanks so much for waking up with us.
And we have a lot of news to get to, so we're starting this morning with fire news out of Kennewick. Crews from Benton County Fire District Number 1 responded to a fire on Interstate 82 yesterday.
Yeah, it sparked just before 4 p.m. It was in the eastbound lanes of I-82. Apple Valley News Now had a crew on scene. Take a look at the video from when those flames were burning. Visibility in the area was low because of a large amount of smoke that was coming from that fire, so traffic was moving pretty slow while that fire was active during that area. Also moving slow because of all the emergency vehicles on the shoulder of the road.
And according to Incident Command, the fire burned around 5 acres of land. Crews contained the fire around an hour after arriving. There's no word yet on the cause of the fire. And staying in Kennewick, that's where the Washington State Patrol is investigating a felony hit-and-run crash that left a man seriously hurt. The crash happened at about 7 a.m. Yesterday on State Route 240 west of Edison Street. According to Washington State Patrol, the crash involved a late model red-colored SUV and a motorcycle. So now troopers are asking for help from the public to identify the driver of that vehicle that hit the motorcycle rider.
We don't have exact make or model or a license plate number, but it will have damage to the rear bumper of the SUV. And the detectives are trying to see if there's anybody that has dash cam footage of the incident. We want to remind the general public that driving is a privilege, not a right.
The motorcycle rider is now in the hospital. As you can imagine, traffic was backed up pretty far, actually, all the way to Columbia Center Boulevard to the exit there while Washington State Patrol was on scene investigating. Washington State Patrol telling us they've actually seen an increase in hit-and-run crashes lately.
Now to crime news, a man is recovering this morning after being stabbed at a Walla Walla hospital. Police say 31-year-old Jorge Cisneros Tovar walked into the waiting room of Providence St. Mary Medical Center, their emergency department. This happened Tuesday night. He then reportedly went up to a 21-year-old man and started stabbing him. Witnesses tell police a bystander jumped into action and pulled Cisneros Tovar off the victim, most likely saving his life. Hospital security officers then restrained the suspect until police arrived. The exact motive is still under investigation, but officials tell us that Cisneros Tovar said he believed the victim was responsible for the death of a friend. He's now booked into the Walla Walla County Jail. In more crime news, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office says they've received multiple reports of wire theft to irrigation systems. This has led to thousands of dollars worth of damage and a loss in productivity. They say deputies are increasing patrols in certain areas, but they're urging the farming community to be proactive and protect their property. This could mean installing trail cameras, improving lighting, and/or engraving tools. Now, if you're headed out for some fresh air and sunshine this season, listen to this. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is making some changes that could affect your weekend plans, such as closing some popular recreation sites. And among the closures include Fishhook Park, Lambye Creek, and the visitor centers at Ice Harbor and Lower Granite Dams. Some sites are still open for school or VIP tours, but due to limited resources, the Corps is scaling back and shutting down some popular parks and facilities to focus on staff and funding where they say it matters most.
Primarily, we're dealing with a staffing shortage. So we had some vacant park ranger positions across the district coming into this year. Since January, we've been under a federal hiring freeze. And that hiring freeze was recently extended to July.
Officials are urging visitors to plan ahead, and that means checking the site status online, packing for remote conditions, and always bringing safety gear, especially near the water. Now, Governor Ferguson was in Seattle yesterday to sign a slate of bills around housing. Now, this includes the contentious cap on rent increases that passed on the last day of this year's legislative session. Correspondent Albert James spoke with supporters about why the bill is a first step in protecting renters, while opponents say it'll only make the state's housing shortage even worse. The governor signed into law bills expanding property tax relief for disabled veterans, relaxing parking space requirements for new construction, and also other efforts with the goal of boosting housing supply and accessibility. But the biggest item he signed into law was the rent stabilization bill, and that was a hot topic for lawmakers this year.
10% and 7% plus CPI is still too high for so many folks who are navigating this crisis here in this state. But today, it's an important moment to stop and celebrate this first start, right, to keep us going, because we have work ahead of us.
Under House Bill 1217, annual rent increases are limited to the lesser of 10% or 7% plus inflation. And for manufactured homes, that cap is at 5% every year. Some exceptions to the limitations exist, and caps for apartments and homes expire in 15 years. Supporters say the legislation is intended to prevent excessive rent increases as people struggle to keep up with the increasing housing costs. And opponents representing landlords and builders say the law ultimately hurts renters, as landlords wouldn't be able to keep up with the maintenance costs and may leave the rental business altogether.
5:07 now, and Walla Walla Public Schools just announced 4 of its schools are being honored by the Washington State School Recognition Program for this school year. Prospect Point Elementary and Sharpstein Elementary are being recognized for growth, showing big improvements in student groups. Green Park Elementary and Pioneer Middle School are being recognized for closing gaps, showing progress in areas in need of improvement.
It's wonderful for the school to be recognized and the teachers and the support staff, but our kids deserve just so many accolades and so much recognition for believing in themselves and taking the opportunities that we give them.
Walla Walla Public Schools says only 16% of schools in Washington State earned honors this year.
Now, the Walla Walla Balloon Stampede kicks off its 49th edition today. So from today through Sunday, the free family-friendly event returns to Howard Tieton Park. Kids Day is today, and children can experience going up in the hot air balloons while staying within the safety of the park. Balloons will be inflated on the field to give boys and girls the opportunity to learn about how they work before taking a free tethered ride. And later on at 6 this morning, our very own Monique Ledesma will be there for all the action. So we'll get a sneak peek.
So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up, President Trump is expected to announce his first trade deal with the UK. All of this as talks with China are set for next week. We'll have more on the ongoing trade war coming up.
But first, our Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will have your first alert weather forecast. Keep it here. Good Morning Northwest. We'll be right back.
It's time for the $9.99 Great Haircut Sale at Great Clips. Your chance to get a great haircut at a limited time price. Save time when you check in on our app. But hurry, the sale ends soon. The Great Haircut Sale at Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
irresistibly smooth chocolate. To put the world on pause. Lindor, made to melt you. By the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
What makes NUU unique? The amazing customer service that we offer to our patients. They know that they're heard, that they're listened to, and we genuinely care about their well-being.
From the second I walked in that office, I felt seen, I felt heard, I didn't feel judged. It just was like, we're a team and we're gonna figure this out.
I had a rare form of breast cancer. Dr. Fedino has just been fantastic. She was really just on my side and helping me, and I'm so relieved and blessed that I went there.
I'm nowhere near diabetic, and I feel amazing. And I lost 55 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off.
She had saved my life because if she hadn't taken just that moment to ask me one extra question, I absolutely would have had an ugly cancer 6 months later.
Go to NUUWomen'sClinic.com to explore the countless ways that wellness meets beauty.
It's time for the $9.99 Great Haircut Sale at Great Clips. Your chance to get a great haircut at a limited time price. Save time when you check in on our app. But hurry, the sale ends soon. The Great Haircut Sale at Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Methane is on tap, with Angelinos reporting flaming water in their faucets.
The hose is a flamethrower? We are minutes from an environmental disaster.
911, new tonight on ABC.
Check out the Ellensburg Bull. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yesterday was a fantastic day to be outside. It's going to be another fantastic day to be outside, albeit it is going to be noticeably cooler out there. This morning, temperatures in the 30s and 40s in Kittitas County. Could be a little bit frosty up towards Snoqualmie Pass. And yes, the air temperature is 44 in Ellensburg, but with those winds racing out of the north and west, it's going to feel a little bit cooler than that for this morning. In Yakima, temperatures spanning from 40 to 47, 40 for Sunnyside, 47 in Toppenish, 45 in Yakima. Then in the lower Columbia Basin, these temperatures spanning from 47 to 50, 50 for the Tri-Cities, 47 up towards Connell. And then for the Blue Foothills, low to mid 40s in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County, mainly low to mid 50s. I think just primarily low 50s for the Blue Foothills of Umatilla, Walla Walla counties, and 40s up in the blues. Here's your coat cast for today for the Tri-Cities, going with the lighter jacket a little bit deeper into the day, but as we head into the afternoon, I do think it's going to be more t-shirt weather out there, as we'll have normal high temperatures for early May. That means upper 60s in the Kittitas Valley, low to mid 70s for the Yakima Valley, for the lower Columbia Basin, and for the Blue Foothills. Will be much warmer once again over the next couple of days before our temperatures come back down to values just like these, and that's as rain chances go up, thunderstorm chances go up, and more strong wind gusts are set to impact our region. I'll tell you about that and how your weekend plans could maybe be impacted. So all that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your national headlines this morning, President Trump is expected to announce a trade deal with the UK, the first agreement since Trump imposed steep tariffs on major trading partners.
It all comes as the Federal Reserve held interest rates steady with concerns over economic uncertainty. Christian Cordero has all the details.
This morning, President Trump is expected to announce his first trade deal since imposing steep tariffs on dozens of trading partners. Sources tell ABC News the U.S. and the United Kingdom have come to an agreement, though the specifics are unclear. Trump previously imposed blanket 10% tariffs on all British imports, 25% tariffs on certain goods. The president says this is the first deal of many. It comes ahead of a high-stakes meeting between the U.S. and China this weekend, expected to be the first time both sides talk trade.
It is the second largest economy in the world. They are a large, important economy, and they should no longer be granted the status of a developing economy.
But finding common ground could be challenging.
China says in order to have substantive negotiations, you have to bring down your 145% tariffs. Are you open to pulling back your tariffs in order to get China to the negotiating table?
No.
All the uncertainty driving the Federal Reserve's decision yesterday to leave interest rates unchanged.
We think right now
the appropriate thing to do is to wait and see how things evolve.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell offered a bleak warning if the trade war continues.
If the large increases in tariffs that have been announced are sustained, they're likely to generate a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in unemployment.
Tariffs are a driving part of the newly announced price increases at Ford.
And the company says tariffs combined with its mid-year pricing decisions means it's raising the price of 3 of its cars by as much as $2,000. And dealers are expecting the change in price this July.
So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We'll check back in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He's going to break down your forecast as we eke our way closer to the weekend. I'm giving you that live look outside from our Bi-Mart camera in Yakima. It is 5:15. We're back after the break.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get deals on drinks whenever you hit the afternoon slump.
We've got your pick-me-up covered because medium drinks are now $2.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At US Cellular, you can get the amazing new iPhone 16 on us, plus $300 off any iPad, like iPad Air.
That is a great deal. And now an unprompted song to express my excitement.
Just know both devices have Apple Intelligence with Genmoji to express yourself.
iPhone 16 stuns. iPad Air waits in the glow. Sweet.
We should start a band.
Yeah.
Get iPhone 16 on us. No trade-in or plan requirements, plus $300 off any iPad. US Cellular, built for us.
At Smoke City for Less, we understand every smoker is unique. Explore our over 1,500 vape flavors and specialty curated selection of tobacco products. Your perfect flavor and blend awaits at any of Smoke City for Less 6 locations. Save your pennies. Smoke City for Less has the lowest prices. Find the best vape mods, batteries, kratom, and specialty products too. Our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to provide personalized recommendations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
It's the mother of all giveaways, where one lucky viewer wins this awesome Mother's Day collection. Check it out. Enter to win each day on the contest page at AppleValleyNewsNow.com. From Jewelry Design Center, The Flower Bar, Curve Appeal, Fiction, and AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Rich, indulgent chocolate with a luscious caramel filling. Discover Ghirardelli Caramel Squares in a bag and a bar. Makes life a bite better.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get the morning going when you buy one breakfast sandwich and get another one for $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Check out the Ellensburg Bowl. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be another mostly sunny day, but the difference between today and yesterday is that it's going to be much cooler out there. 60s and 70s for lower elevations, seasonal for this time of the year. 50s up in the Cascades, 50s and 60s up in the Blues. Winds today much lighter as opposed to yesterday, although it still will be a little bit breezy in the Kittitas Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, and the Bluefoot Hills of Morrow County. For tonight, clear skies. Overnight lows are going to fall down mostly into the 40s for lower elevations, then 30s up in the Cascades, 30s and 40s up in the Blues. We'll keep the forecast mostly dry for Friday and Saturday. There's going to be a little chance of some thunderstorms on Friday in the Blues, then a little chance of some showers in the Cascades for Saturday. But it's really going to be Sunday through Tuesday in which our pattern becomes a lot more unsettled, with specific emphasis on Sunday and Monday. That storm system could bring us some okay rainfall totals in the mountains, between 0.1 to 0.2 inches in the Cascades, 0.2 to 0.3 in the Blues. Definitely not much doing cooling for the valleys, basin, and not very much for the foothills either. The big impact from the storm system, once again, going to come in the form of some very gusty winds Monday as they'll shift out of the mainly out of the north and west. Peak gusts could be up around 50 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley. And I think the wind gusts for Tuesday and Wednesday could be a little bit stronger. It's just too early to show you some of those numbers, but the winds are definitely trending in a stronger direction for both of those days. High temperatures trending much warmer for Friday and Saturday. We'll be back into the mid-80s in the Tri-Cities, and then they cool off quite substantially once again for Sunday and beyond, as we'll actually be cooler than normal for this time of the year. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Back into the mid-80s for Friday and Saturday, then much cooler by Sunday and Monday with small rain chances. In Yakima, keeping the forecast dry with up and down temperatures through Sunday, then perhaps a shower or two on Monday. For Ellensburg, a break from windy weather later today and into tomorrow, but winds pick back up Saturday and Sunday, then turning very windy for Monday through Wednesday. In Hermiston, staying dry and warming up through Saturday, then cooler and wetter Sunday through Tuesday. Finally, for Walla Walla, beautiful and warm days ahead for Thursday through Saturday, then cooler with rain chances going up Sunday through Tuesday.
Thanks, Josh. So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. If you are scared of clowns, you might want to skip the theaters tomorrow. Coming up, we'll take a look at a sneak peek of a terrifying thriller set to slash its way into theaters this weekend. Yay. We're back after the break.
The Memorial Day Super Sale is on now at Furniture Row. Shop top brands like La-Z-Boy, FlexSteel, Fork Holder Amish, and save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Plus, get 60 months no interest. The Memorial Day Super Sale on now at Furniture Row.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
My family's been serving the Tri-Cities for 86 years at Griggs and the Tri-Cities Ace stores. And we have some deals we don't want you to miss. Black Flag Insect Killers, your choice, 2 for $10. Tomato and pepper plants are a steal at $4.99. Miracle Grow Organic Potting Mix, 36% off at 2 for $14. Stock up on HTH Pool Shock, 59% off at only $3.49. See all the deals using this QR code. Come see us at Griggs and the Tri-Cities Ace stores. And thank you for your business.
Lather, rinse, repeat. It never feels like enough. It's not your products, it's your water. Culligan water softeners prevent damaging hard water buildup, revitalizing your hair and skin. Upgrade your routine with Culligan.
And Consumer Reports.
We're testers.
This organization accepts no advertising or sponsorship.
Since 1936.
Testing dishwashers, TVs, cars, vacuums.
We buy directly from stores, just like you.
Making sure products are safe.
And that they last.
Because we're advocates.
Engineers and scientists. We're testers. We're Consumer Reports.
Join us.
Got a birthday coming up, celebrating a big win, or just want to gather the crew for a pizza and a good time? For decades, Hubby's Pizza has been the go-to spot for family, friends, and fun. Reserve your table and bring the whole gang. Kids, family, teammates, whoever loves great pizza and good vibes. Dig into your favorite pizza, hit up the fresh salad bar, and let the kids have a blast in the arcade. And if the party's at your place, no problem. Hubby's now delivers through Grubhub and DoorDash. A community tradition, a place to celebrate. Acquire the Hubby's habit today.
It's the Memorial Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress. Shop Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Purple, or save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Get 30% off our Doctor's Choice lineup, plus 60 months no interest and free shipping. The Memorial Day Super Sale on now at Denver Mattress.
Early warnings, accurate forecasts.
Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment headlines, if you're looking for some screams before summer really kicks in, we have some news for you.
Nope.
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
You would.
I love it.
A new horror flick is hitting theaters tomorrow, and it's bringing the chills straight from the cornfields.
Clown in a Cornfield opens Friday, and yes, it's just as creepy as it sounds. Rick Damigella takes a look at what horror fans can expect.
They're really big on tradition around here.
Every year, there's this parade where everyone gathers around a Friendo float.
Friendo? It's the clown on all the Bay Pen corn syrup labels. He's practically a local legend.
Don't let the name Friendo fool you. Friendo is the horrific harlequin behind Clown in a Cornfield.
We got a clown named Friendo, and we got cornfields. And what else could we possibly need to make a horror film work? And then a lot of stuff happens that's pretty exciting, including the reveal of our killer clown that's kind of trying to set things straight in this town.
There's a psycho dressed up like Friendo, trying to kill us.
Eli does this great thing in a lot of his movies where he'll just cast the funniest people ever in like very serious roles. And that just makes it makes it so easy, and it's undeniably like gonna be a fun time.
It was a real joy to get to just go up to Winnipeg, which is only like 7 hours away from where I grew up, which is actually the closest city to where I'm from, believe it or not. And just be up there playing with these amazing pros doing this story.
Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Hard pass.
Watching with the lights on?
I'm not watching.
Not at all?
No.
Okay, as long
Killer
as
clowns?
Yeah, as long as people don't start dressing like clowns again and like standing out in public, like back in 2016, then I'm good, yeah.
We need to have a follow-up on that. I don't want people to do
Yeah.
that again, but like as journalists, we should, what was up with that?
What happened there?
Yeah.
It was
Just-
unhinged,
ugh.
and I was unwell.
Yeah,
that
I
was
didn't
not
like
okay.
that.
No, and I don't think I'm gonna like that either. But I mean, he's like, what? A killer clown in a cornfield? It's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need, really. That was funny.
Yeah. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up, food vendors in Yakima are getting prepared for the summer. How a workshop this weekend is lending a hand. We'll have all those details for you coming up.
Plus a change in the Walla Walla Fair and Frontier Days following a disheartening message from the expected headliner. With the details coming up, but first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Netflix is trying its hand at short videos for mobile devices. It will soon test a vertical feed designed to compete with TikTok. Users can scroll through clips of original Netflix titles. Netflix also redesigned its home screen with easier search options. The test feature rolls out soon. Next, Samsung is unveiling its new Galaxy S25 Edge smartphone during a virtual event next Monday. Samsung says it will set a new standard for what can be achieved with a phone. One feature, a 200 megapixel main camera. And finally, Amazon's new warehouse robot is the first with a sense of touch. Amazon says Vulcan moves orders more efficiently than other systems, but doesn't damage items because it knows how much force to use. It has already processed 500,000 orders at 2 Amazon shipping centers. On their lunch break, I hear the robots often get Chipotle. Those are your Tech Bites.
What if she doesn't like it?
This time it's different. This has real chicken, sweet potatoes, and brown rice.
Oh yeah, Blue Tastefuls is different.
Looks like it's Blue Tastefuls from now on.
Blue Tastefuls, a taste they'll love, made from natural ingredients.
It's high noon, and the winter's clear. 7 out of 10 cats prefer Blue Tastefuls chicken to Heinz chicken. And with Tastefuls' delicious natural ingredients, it's easy to see why. Blue Tastefuls, a taste cats love made with natural ingredients.
Exhaustipated. When you're tired of your backed up gut and you need fast relief. New Mirafast works naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes. New Mirafast acts faster, works gently.
Travel can make you smell kind of funky, but aluminum-free Secret Whole Body Deodorant gives me 72-hour whole body freshness. For long layovers, surprise gate changes, and heavy luggage. And it's totally middle seat approved. Secret, no sweat.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us and joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, hit us with it.
We're up to 475.
Woo!
So today's the big day.
Yeah.
Right? I either get to 500 or I blow it. And
Are
I don't.
you getting sweaty? Are you?
Look,
Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
Yeah, definitely a little clammy over here. All right, here's our 3-degree guarantee.
No pressure.
Sponsored by friends of the Legends Casino and Hotel. Yesterday I went with a forecast high of 85, verified right at 85, which I was a little surprised by. The clouds moved in a little bit sooner than I was expecting, but hey, it ended up working out as the jackpot went up to $475. Here are the stakes for today, the big day. Going with the forecast high of 73 in Pasco Tri-City. So if it verifies between 70 to 76, the jackpot's going to hit $500. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot will be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to AppleValleyNewsNow.com, clicking on the contest page. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen. Now what's on your screen are some of the residual wind gusts that have been left over from last night's winds, still gusting out of the north and west around 25 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, out of the south and west roughly between 15 to 25 miles per hour for the lower Columbia Basin and for the Blue Foothills. Keep that in mind when I show you some of these temperatures, as well, what the air temperature suggests, 40s and 50s, it might feel a little bit cooler than that because of the aforementioned winds. We're down into the 30s in the Cascades this morning, 30s and 40s for the Blues, so it could be a little bit frosty up in the Cascades. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. Lots of sunshine in the forecast, but it's going to be noticeably cooler as opposed to yesterday, as we'll have highs that'll be very normal for the 8th of May. That means upper 60s in the Kittitas Valley, low to mid 70s for the lower Columbia Basin, the Yakima Valley, and the Blue Foothills. And I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of what's going to end up being a beautiful Thursday. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thanks so much. 5:31, and we start this half hour of news with continuing coverage out of Franklin County. A new development in the fight for the jail control commissioners met again for their weekly meeting. They met earlier yesterday in Pasco. Towards the end of yesterday's meeting, a motion was waived for conflict of interest in the representation of Sheriff Jim Raymond in the jail dispute. We learned that Bob Christie's firm, associated with attorney Andy Cooley, was in a matter brought up upon the union. Commissioner said the representation presented a potential conflict with Christie to represent Raymond, but Mr. Christie agreed to undertake the representation of the sheriff by walling off within his office all information related to the union litigation. All board members voted in favor, and we spoke with Sheriff Raymond, who said in the case against him and Deputy Killing Harmon, no lawyer has been assigned in that matter. And in Yakima this morning, a free workshop to help vendors meet safety requirements is going to be happening this weekend. Yakima Health District is partnering with 1997 Cafe and Cucina for this. It's called Flavors of the Community, and it aims to prepare local food vendors for the upcoming event season. So the event is Saturday from 11 to noon at the Cafe Cucina in downtown Yakima, and they'll have bilingual sessions. Health district officials will demonstrate proper food booth setups and provide hands-on guidance to meet inspection requirements. Food safety inspectors will also be on hand to answer any questions as well.
Anyone that is interested, either a new temporary food vendor or in food vendors that have been doing it for many years. If you'd like to come learn more information, have any questions, it's a great way to come and meet some of our staff. But the goal is to empower food vendors with the tools and knowledge for them to meet those permitting requirements and pass inspections confidently.
Those who plan to go will also have a chance to win a free hand washing station for their future events.
United Way of Benton and Franklin counties is sounding the alarm after a major blow to its youth mentorship program. On April 25th, the federal termination of nearly $400 million in AmeriCorps grant funding brought an immediate halt to more than 1,000 programs across the United States. That included the Attendance Matters mentoring program run by United Way in Benton and Franklin counties, and the cut affects almost 700 middle school students who relied on the daily support of AmeriCorps mentors.
There was a lot of tears by students, a lot of confusion, a lot of questions. Where do I go during lunch now? What am I going to do? We've had quite a few students tell their mentors, but you're the only reason I came to school, so if you're not going to be here, I'm not going to be here anymore. It's just been a really negative impact on our students right now.
United Way is now seeking alternative funding and volunteers to continue this work. They're also urging the community to speak up, and United Way says its mission remains unchanged, helping students succeed and bettering the lives of local kids.
Now Now we turn to an update about the Walla Walla Fair and Frontier Days. We have learned that Three Doors Down was scheduled to be the concert headliner on August 27th, but in a social media post just made by the singer Brad Arnold, he announced that they will be canceling the band's upcoming tour dates.
So I'd been sick a couple of weeks ago and then went to the hospital and got checked out and had actually got the diagnosis that I had a clear cell renal carcinoma that had metastasized into my lung, and that's it's stage 4, and that's not real good.
Event organizers say they are working to confirm a new headline act, which they will announce on May 12th. Information for those who've already purchased tickets will be shared on that date as well. And of course, we wish him the best as he battles his cancer. Moving to Oregon now, where House members referred a bill back to committee that would ban recycled plastic bags. Senate Bill 551 aims to allow only paper grocery bags to be given out in stores. Now, House lawmakers decided to refer the bill back to the House Committee on Climate, Energy, and Environment for further consideration. If the bill does eventually make it through the legislature, the Oregon Health Authority would be in charge of enforcing the policies. Recycled paper checkout bags would still cost consumers 5 cents at checkout unless the customer uses an EBT card. This rule would go into effect starting January 1st of 2027.
Following up now on a story that we brought to you yesterday, the Bishop of Yakima says he's surprised the Department of Justice is intervening and launching an investigation into the recently passed legislation. So it's looking into whether Senate Bill 5375 violates First Amendment rights of worship and also the church's civil rights in Washington.
Yeah, the bill requires religious leaders to report sexual abuse, even those made during the sacrament of penance. Bishop Tyson said they initially supported the bill until there was no allowance for the seal of confession, adding that a priest would be excommunicated from the Catholic Church in doing so. He's concerned that parishioners will lose confidence to speak to a priest freely if they think they're going to report a sin.
Well, I hope that the investigation will spur our state leadership to reconsider the legislation they passed. I think it's good that the legislators and the governor want mandatory reporting by clergy of abuse, of sexual abuse. That is good. But it is not good that they are requiring us to violate church canon law in breaking the seal of confession. It's unnecessary. They don't require this of other professionals.
Protects victims of sexual abuse. Bishop Tyson said he's in the early stages of consulting their legal options to challenge the legislation, but what happens with the federal investigation will factor into his legal steps against Washington State.
Still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Summer just around the corner, and national parks everywhere are feeling the pressure. Coming up, we'll take a look at how parks in Washington are preparing for the influx of visitors. We're back after the break.
Check out the Ellensburg Bowl. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
We have a very special bond, I think, as a family. Spectrum is the connecting thread to everything we do.
It provides us with reliability, lightning speeds, and allows us to do what we need to do in our lives.
From school to homework to entertainment, Spectrum's the perfect match for me and my family.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
Hey, your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kind of is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
At the Pacific Clinic, we understand the juggle of parenthood. That's why the PC is your one-stop shop for all your health, sports, and medical needs. Schedule your appointments around your favorite group fitness classes and use our on-site childcare services.
From women's health to care for your little ones, we practice a comprehensive approach to keep your family feeling great.
With our quick and convenient scheduling, we'll get you in within the same week, often the next day. Call us today at 509-783-5465.
It's the mother of all giveaways, where one lucky viewer wins this awesome Mother's Day collection. Check it out. Enter to win each day on the contest page at AppleValleyNewsNow.com. From Jewelry Design Center, The Flower Bar, Curve Appeal, Fiction, and AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
This week on GMA, it's time to celebrate moms.
Love it.
And Friday, the mother of all surprises, is on when we pop up and surprise one deserving mom with the biggest breakfast in bed ever on GMA.
Oh my gosh.
Friday on Good Morning America.
All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am.
We're getting married.
I was made for you.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yesterday was a beautiful spring day. Today is going to be just the same, except the temperatures are going to be more on par with what you would expect for this time of the year. Mid-50s up in the Cascades, upper 60s in the Kittitas Valley. Winds still going to be a bit breezy, although calming throughout the day, gusting out of the north and west around 25 miles per hour. In the Yakima Valley should be light winds overall, mostly sunny skies, highs mainly in the low 70s. And then for the lower Columbia Basin, some of these gusts out of the south and west up around 20 miles per hour, but highs also in the low to mid 70s and plenty of sunshine. Then for the Blue Foothills, looks like we'll be right around 70 degrees in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County. Then for Umatilla and Walla Walla counties, low to mid 70s. We'll be in the 60s up in the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. Also plenty of sunshine here. So just in general, a beautiful day across all of our microclimates. All right, now let's talk about the seasonal rainfall surpluses and deficits we've been tracking since October 1st. So here are all the rainfall totals you would expect for this time of the year. Here's what we've actually seen. If you do a little bit of math, here are the surpluses and deficits. So very subtle surpluses for the Kittitas Valley and the Blue Foothills of Umatilla County. Very good surpluses in the Yakima Valley and the lower Columbia Basin. And unfortunately, a seasonal rainfall deficit in the Blue Foothills of Walla Walla County. But it does look like some rainfalls on the way. I'll tell you how much we're expecting and when we're expecting it. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. 5:43, and a summer of uncertainty is ahead for national parks due to staffing cuts.
Businesses on Washington State's Olympic Peninsula are now bracing for the impact. Drew Andre has more.
The national park is really the crown jewel for the Olympic Peninsula.
Summer is trickling closer by the day at Olympic National Park. 3.7 million visitors pass through the gates every year.
Can I get a name for your booking?
Olympic Hiking Company guides tours and backpacking trips for about 4,000 of those visitors, largely in the prime months between June and August.
We're ready to welcome these guests.
But the National Parks Conservation Association questions whether the park will be.
Everyone needs to know what to expect, and no one knows anything right now. We may not see the impacts until gates are closed or campgrounds are closed, or maybe toilet paper runs out sometime, and the parks already start from an understaffed position.
Fewer park rangers means there's less maintenance. For example, you could see more bathrooms that are closed and more trash on the ground. Regardless of how things shake out with, staffing levels in our public lands, it's really kind of on us as communities to be stewards of our backyard.
Ferris says do research on the trail you're hiking ahead of time, find out about parking, and be prepared to pack out waste and food.
The first thing is to say we are open. We're all open.
Olympic Peninsula Tourism Director Marcia Massey says businesses are plugging along as normal, but there's an even bigger concern than staffing the national park: the decline in visitors this year from Canada.
Many of the businesses have told me that their phones have stopped ringing and the reservations have stopped coming in from folks in Canada. So we're already seeing the impact of the pullback on travel.
Only about 20 nautical miles away, Marcia says Canadians fuel 15 to 20% of business on the Olympic Peninsula, regularly taking the Blackball ferry from Victoria into Port Angeles.
Some of our events that normally draw folks over from Canada are getting cancellations.
Welcome to any seats you like in there, move around.
Some businesses, including Olympic Hiking Company, are offering discounts for Canadian tourists to incentivize them to still visit.
We want to have a nice, friendly welcome for our Canadian neighbors across from Victoria, or just travelers that are passing through Victoria.
This uncertainty isn't new for the Olympic Peninsula, from pandemic closures to the 2023 fire that burned down the popular day lodge at Hurricane Ridge. It's just the latest challenge.
We found a way to pivot. So, that's what we do. We all bound together. That's what we do. We find a way to pivot.
Still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up next, we have your morning sprint and everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning. Giving you that beautiful live look from Pasco and the Dust Devils Diamond. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert is going to be back after the break with your full First Alert forecast. It's 5:46.
Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a ride. Whether you're shaping up a small yard or taking on serious acreage, let's go the distance. Shop in store and online for 0% financing and instant rebates on select Steel mowers. Steel. Let's go mow.
This is the Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattress, and it's designed to help you feel cool. So no more sweating all night, no kicking off the covers or blasting the air conditioning, because only the Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with our one-of-a-kind cooling technology that pulls heat away from your body, so the mattress feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long.
And for a limited time, save up to $500 on select adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 gift. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
All right, everybody. I know it's easy to forget things, but we don't want you to miss this new deal from US Cellular. Save big with our best price ever. Just $15 a line when you get 4 lines.
Ooh, I can save enough to buy a gift for my understanding wife.
Sorry, I'm late. Ooh, that's a great deal. I have a facial. This was fun.
Oh, come on. You have flowers? Save big with our best price ever. Just $15 a line when you get 4 lines. US Cellular, built for us.
Rich, indulgent chocolate with a luscious caramel filling. Discover Ghirardelli Caramel Squares in a bag and a bar. Makes life a bite better.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate. To put the world on pause. Lindor, made to melt you. By the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
A most unique house. Fly the Northwest Tuesday. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be another sunny day out there with mostly sunny skies across the map. But the difference between yesterday and today is that today is going to be substantially cooler, 60s and 70s for lower elevations, 50s up in the Cascades, 50s and 60s up in the Blues. Another fundamental difference between yesterday and today is that the winds aren't going to be nearly as strong, but still a little bit breezy in the Kittitas Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, and the Bluefoot Hills of Morrow County. For tonight, we'll keep the skies mostly clear. Overnight lows mostly in the 40s, at least for lower elevations, exclusively in the 40s, 30s up in the Cascades, 30s and 40s up in the Blues. All right, we'll keep the forecast mostly dry for Friday and Saturday. There's going to be a little chance of a thunderstorm in the Blues for Friday, a little chance of a shower up in the Cascades for Saturday, but our pattern gets a lot more unsettled specifically from Sunday through Tuesday, but with even more emphasis on Sunday and Monday. So from that round, we could pick up maybe between 0.1 to 0.2 inches of rainfall in the Cascades, 0.2 to 0.3 up in the Blues. Definitely a lot less for lower elevations, especially for the Kittitas Valley, Yakima Valley, and Lower Columbia Basin. However, once again, the biggest impact from this storm system going to be in the form of some very blustery winds, as they'll once again gust out of the north and west, peaking around 50 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, and early indications are that the wind gusts could be even stronger as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, specifically for the Kittitas Valley. So we'll have to watch that facet of the forecast very closely. High temperatures returning to values about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal for Friday and Saturday. Then that cold front and that storm system is going to roll through. That's going to do a big number to our high temperatures, as we'll end up being about 5-ish degrees cooler than normal for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Pretty seasonal stuff by the time we get to next Wednesday. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Back into the mid-80s for Friday and Saturday, then much cooler by Sunday and Monday with small rain chances. In Yakima, keeping the forecast dry with up and down temperatures through Sunday, then perhaps a shower or two on Monday. In Ellensburg, a break from windy weather later today and into tomorrow, but winds pick back up Saturday and Sunday, then turning very windy for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. For Hermiston, staying dry and warming up through Saturday, then cooler and wetter for Sunday through Tuesday. Finally, for Walla Walla, beautiful and warm days ahead for Thursday through Saturday, then cooler with rain chances going up Sunday through Tuesday.
Now, the morning sprint.
It's now time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour, and we're starting off with the top local things you need to know.
Yeah, Benton County Fire District number 1 responded to a fire on Interstate 82 yesterday afternoon. It happened just before 4 in Kennewick. Take a look, video from the scene. It was in the eastbound lanes of Interstate 82. Visibility in the area was pretty low due to the large amount of smoke. According to Incident Command, the fire burned about 5 acres of land. Crews had it contained in about an hour, but still no word on the cause.
Also in Kennewick, Washington State Patrol is investigating a felony hit-and-run crash that left a man seriously hurt. This happened around 7 a.m. on eastbound SR 240 just west of Edison Street, and WSP says it involved an SUV and a motorcycle. Troopers are asking for help in identifying the driver of the SUV that hit the motorcyclist. If you know anything about this, call police.
And a man's recovering this morning after being stabbed at a local hospital. Walla Walla police say 31-year-old Jorge Cisneros Tovar walked into the waiting room of Providence St. Mary Medical Center and to the emergency department on Tuesday night and reportedly went up to a 21-year-old man and started stabbing him. After a bystander jumped into action and pulled Cisneros Tovar off of the victim, security officers were able to restrain him until police arrived. He's now booked into the Walla Walla County Jail.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is making some changes that could affect your weekend plans. It's closing some popular recreation sites. This includes Fishhook Park, Lambye Creek, and the visitor centers at Ice Harbor and Lower Granite Dams. Some sites are still open for school or VIP tours. The Corps is scaling back to focus on staff and funding while resources are limited.
And a change to the Walla Walla Fair and Frontier Days following a disheartening message. Three Doors Down was scheduled to be the concert headliner on August 27th, but in a social media post, singer Brad Arnold made the announcement that they will be canceling the band's upcoming tour dates as Arnold has been diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer. Event organizers say they're working to confirm a new headline act, and that should be announced on May 12th.
Now to your national headlines this morning. Black smoke rose above the Vatican overnight, signaling that the cardinals have not yet elected a pope. The conclave will reconvene today in the Sistine Chapel as thousands gathered in St. Peter's Square, watching and waiting for hours. A decision is expected to be made in 3 to 4 days.
5:54 in your business headlines this morning. OpenAI will continue to be a nonprofit business. The artificial intelligence firm is ditching plans to convert into a for-profit business. CEO and co-founder Sam Altman says that the decision comes after meeting with civil leaders and attorney general offices in California and Delaware. The nonprofit does have a for-profit arm, which will transition into a public benefit corporation.
In your health headlines, U.S. measles cases are at another grim milestone this year. New analysis shows they just surpassed 1,000, and that's based on data from the CDC and state health departments. Many of the cases are related to an outbreak in West Texas, but most states have reported the disease. And this is likely to be the worst year for measles in the U.S. since its declared elimination in 2000.
5:55 talking sports this morning. Seattle Mariners had another impressive night against the Oakland Athletics as they pitched another win. This makes the second series that they have taken from the A's with final score 6-5. Seattle set to go head-to-head with Toronto and the Blue Jays tomorrow.
Trending this morning, a dramatic rescue on the shores of Lake Michigan, and it was caught on camera this week, so take a look at this.
Oh my goodness. First responders were called to that park in Chicago after reports of a dog got stuck in the water. Hey, buddy.
Just now saw him.
A helicopter just happened to capture the moment that firefighters used a ladder and a leash to carefully guide that pup off the rock and back to shore.
Well, it's still unclear how the dog ended up there or who it belongs to, but thanks to a quick response, that furry friend is safe tonight.
Oh, you know he was so scared.
I know.
So scared.
Oh, such a sweet
Poor
dog.
guy.
I'm
That
so
was
glad
wild,
he's
all
okay.
that space between those rocks.
I know. What was he doing?
How'd he get out there?
I don't know.
How'd he get out there?
He's just a baby. He's just a puppy, but I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, and Lake Michigan can be some rough seas sometimes. You can see
They look rough
whitecaps
right
there.
there, yeah.
So good to our buddy. We'll call him Fido for now.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, Washington State Patrol asking for your help after a felony hit and run left a man seriously injured.
Plus today, the Walla Walla skies will be filled with hot air balloons, and our very own Monique Ledesma will be there with a live look at the actual event. We'll have details on that in our 6 o'clock hour. And Josh, what are you tracking?
Another beautiful spring day ahead for us. The winds aren't going to be as big of a factor, and we're going to be cooler compared to yesterday. I'll tell you just how cool coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.